Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk about desktop manufacturing. This is something that's gotten a lot cheaper and more affordable and more approachable over the last few years. And I hope to inspire you guys to either go out and make something or buy a tool that will help you make something. One of the really awesome things that's gotten hugely popular over the last few years is 3D printing. About 3 years ago, the only way you could get access to a 3D printer was with many thousands of dollars or by sneaking into a research lab at a university. Thankfully, now there are dozens of 3D printers, including those that cost under $500 to buy, going all the way up to however much you want to spend. These come as kits or fully assembled. There are lots of options for materials, and you could do really cool stuff with them, like printing a really tiny planetary gearbox or building your own frame for a quad rotor or building another 3D printer. So lots of cool options. There's also the Microsoft Kinect, which was originally meant for video games, has now been used a lot for 3D scanning. So this is a cheap option for scanning yourself and printing out a bust or doing navigation with robotics. And it's really cheap. So 2D fabrication, like laser cutting, plasma cutting, water jet cutting, is still really expensive. But thankfully, things like laser cutters are getting cheaper and a lot better. And there are also a lot of DIY options. So lasers can cut and etch, and this is just something super awesome that I geek out about. Who wouldn't love that to have on a cutting board? So that's engraved and then using inlays. And it just looks awesome. This is one of the few DIY laser cutting projects called Laser Soar. The main idea here is to create a 100-watt laser cutter for under 10 grand, which is actually hugely awesome. Getting a 100-watt laser is a lot more expensive than 10 grand. And you don't even need these tools to build stuff. There are services like Pinocchio and Shapeways that you just send them a file and they will do the laser cutting or 3D printing for you. There are also services that do metal cutting as well. Going back to 3D, CNC Mills are becoming more desktop friendly. This is a model made by Roland for about $5,000. And this will get you much more accurate stuff than any 3D printer will, down to about 1 micron in all 3 axes. And you can do cool things like this. There's a really long, awesome tutorial on the internet. This guy does mold making for doing things like quarter-sized planetary gearboxes with his CNC mill. And of course, there's a big DIY community surrounding it. This book is focused on building a CNC machine out of MDF wood for under $1,000. So you could put a router on it, a laser cutter, or even do pick-and-place applications. Of course, for all these things, you need some sort of CAD file, whether it's 2D or 3D. Now there are tons of free options for CAD files. Websites like Thingiverse and GrabCAD have over 100,000 different models that you can just download. There's also tons of different tools for free CAD, including Tinkercad, there's a screenshot of here, which is a free in-browser tool. Autodesk also recently released an application for doing 3D printing. Now moving into electronics, I think soldering is something everyone should learn how to do. Soldering irons are extremely cheap. There are thousands of kits that use soldering, and you get really cool stuff like blinking LEDs or motors. There's also applications that are completely free, like EagleCAD for designing your own circuit boards. So if you want to go to that next step and do something like design a little blinky LED circuit, or even go all the way and design like a motor controller, you can do that for free. Of course, with all these things, you need to buy some tools and hardware. And I'm a huge fan of McMaster-Carr. They have over 500,000 different products, ranging from everything bicycles to shipping materials to screws, nuts, and bolts. And of course, if you don't have the money to do all that, you can go on Kickstarter and kickstart your dreams. This is an awesome project that just recently got their funding. The first hackerspace that's friendly to moms there in Berkeley. There's also the Ace Monster Toys, which is a hackerspace based in Oakland, and Noisebridge, which is one of the first large hackerspaces, and they're based in the Mission District in San Francisco. So I just threw a bunch of stuff at you guys. All the links to all that awesome stuff is on my website, and that's it. So thank you.